by Frazier having contact with these children by texting and sleeping and having them sleep over his house, and then a state agency that protects children gets involved and investigates it, and then they hire him. Mm-hmm. How does that happen?
How do you get a job after abusing children and molesting children?
The mayor of Atlantic City hasn't said nothing. Council of Atlantic City, if they said something, they've been mealy-mouthed about it. Okay? The New Jersey School District hasn't said nothing about none of this.
Because we need to know how he got hired. Tell me how he got hired.
Now, how did this vicious guy get hired by the state after he was so-called fired from the city of Atlantic City? How in the world did she get to have the top spot in the school district after she allowed our children in Atlantic City schools to be molested? She knew about these things, and I don't understand how in the world anyone in their right mind would hire her as the superintendent of Atlantic City. The school board stopped the investigation, and taxpayers paid good money for these attorneys to investigate, and there is a report somewhere out there. Why isn't it made public to what happened?
And how is it you got a mayor that said nothing about this? How did you become mayor?
There seems to be legitimate concerns about ensuring the safety of Atlantic County's children. I wanted to be clear that the Board of Commissioners is not in charge of overseeing the situation.
Resolution requesting the Governor's Office and the Attorney General's Office to investigate, identify, and correct processes in state agencies to make sure vulnerable children have proper professional care.
Madam Chair, on advice from the attorneys, I need to recuse myself, so I will step out.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bertino?
Madam Chair, I'm going to, for providing us with that report. I read each and every page of that report, not once, but twice. There's too many things in it to say how disturbing it really was. But, one of the things that we really need to highlight is the fact that there was a complaint made by the school system of Mr. Frazier. Shouldn't even call him Mr. But anyway, by Frazier having contact with these children by texting and sleeping and having them sleep over his house, and then a state agency that protects children gets involved and investigates it, and then they hire him. Mm-hmm. How does that happen? So we really need, the Attorney General's office. We need the Governor's office to direct the Attorney General to look into this. It's water under the dam now. It's a shame, but we need to make sure that this never happens again to any child, not only in Atlantic County, but anywhere in this state, anywhere in this country. It's horrible. DCP&P needs to find out what step was missed, and I don't think it was anything political. I think something was missed along the way, and they need to correct that. And if it takes an investigation by the Attorney General's office to make sure they change their policies and procedures, this would not have been brought to our attention to the detail that it was unless each and every one of you didn't come out here and provide us with this information. And, hopefully this does get a little bit of traction from the governor and the Attorney General's office, and hopefully our assembly and senators that represent Atlantic County make sure that they push this forward.
It's disgusting, and for two reasons. I'm a parent, and I'm also a teacher. We're told that at the sign of any abuse, we're supposed to call this agency. And you click on their employment page, it says, help protect New Jersey's children, come work for us. I want to know as a teacher that I'm not turning the lamb over to the wolf.
A state employee who raped a child and wasn't charged because he filmed himself raping a child. Yeah, this is what happened. He got federal charges for the pornography aspect, but was never charged for actually raping the child from the state. And that's a key component of this. is why was that never addressed? Is the message to the pedophiles across America, hey, as long as you film the rapes, you'll be all good? And Mr. Corsi, I'm very disappointed that you recused yourself.
Please, just address the chair, sir. That's all. That's all I ask is that you address the chair specifically.
Okay.
And as you know, he recused himself, so I'm telling him not to talk about this subject for legal purposes.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
So to the people who recused themselves, I'm very disappointed.
My history of children, my wife, she's the principal of Atlantic City High School. My wife reported her own cousin. Nothing about sexual innuendos or anything. She was just saying that she thought the relationship was inappropriate, that he was spending time with the kid off school hours with the parents' permission, might I add, and that's documented as well. The school board solicitor said my wife followed all the rules.
Something that happened in your home, allegedly.
My wife's cousin, stayed with us in college, and a couple years after, there was an allegation of child pornography, which he pleaded guilty for with the FBI. I'm the city council president at the time, and I'm the mayor now. Yeah, I might give Duncan to your people. Like, why y'all letting Marty get his hand dirty? Listen, there's some bad people that's trying to take over Atlantic City, and we can't allow that as a people.
Can you link Marty or LaQuetta Small to any of Cayenne Frazier's misdeeds? Yeah, you would have thought when he applied for the state job, unless this whole thing was cooked up, hey, we're going to fire you quietly, we'll get you a job somewhere else.
I had a baseball bat and a sprained ankle, and at the time, my fiance, now my wife, was living in Mays Landing Village, and we was having a discussion, and then the property manager came out there, and lo and behold, when I opened the trunk, the bat fell out, and then they tried to make her say that I hit her. You know what goes on in certain areas in Atlantic County. Don't play stupid.
Marty, what do you think was happening out there in Atlantic County?
It's definitely racist.
Oh, okay. Around a sexual predator that roamed the Atlantic City School District. That's right. That's right. She probably knows the importance and the severity of a poor vetting process to put people next to kids. And then when you catch somebody doing something bad with kids, you give them another job at the state level. School board solicitor, Tracy Riley. It's bad. Atlantic City School District is one of the worst. They have a track record of mismanaging situations. What do you think, Marty?
Listen, my wife's cousin will pay the consequences. And why are we calling on the Attorney General to investigate something that the FBI fully investigated? My wife's cousin was accused of child pornography. It's bad in itself, but let's get the facts straight. There's no need for a state investigation. The Board of Education attorney said my wife followed the proper protocol.
Atlantic City substitute fired for improper conduct with a student hired by the state. Now he's facing 30 years in prison for child exploitation. They published this on the day right before a big holiday weekend, so nobody will see it. This is why nobody trusts the media at all. And thank God for the internet. And none of the spineless on-air news people, they won't talk about this. Maybe one or two might. They'll dance around it pretending they didn't know about it. So think about all the different people that you trust when you listen to the radio, news radio, blogs, Facebook pages, newspapers, television, whatever. They're looking the other way. And so many people are compromised. They can't talk about it. Questions remain as to how the man was hired by the state following claims by the school district of inappropriate behavior. But questions remain as to how the man, Cayenne Frazier, the cousin of LaQuetta Small, who wants to be in charge of the entire school district, also married to my man, Mayor Marty Small. So Cayenne Frazier of Summers Point, cousin of LaQuetta Small, was working for Division of Child Protection and Permanency for 2 years when he was arrested April 2019, searching his home. Remember, he was working for a whole bunch of Atlantic City schools in the elementary schools, bouncing around. Got let go. And then the state hires him for another job dealing with kids. And it's really the media who are to blame the most because they're supposed to put the pressure on. I like LaQuetta Small. I've been a LaQuetta Small supporter. I supported her when there was a big brouhaha when she was going to be made principal. I've seen too many disasters
They bring these people in that don't understand our community, and they do a terrible job.